This episode of Super GG Radio is brought to you by our Patreon. Patrons of the show can get our Dogs of Super GG Radio newsletter, Super GG Radio stickers to slap on your closest PC or bag, input on what we cover, game nights with the hosts, and even a chance to win a copy of an indie we talked about. Not only that, but 90% of all patron contributions go to the Children's Miracle Network of Hospitals. Visit patreon.com/superggradio to learn more.
What's good, Internet, and welcome to session 256 of Super GG Radio, where friends chat about video games and all things adjacent. Anime fever is in full force, as I am your host, depending on the heart of the cards, Eric Eddie Gettinger. I'm ready to duel. Duel? Can I do that?
I don't know. It's a part of the show, so probably.
Okay. With me, as always, is my rival and wielder of the mighty Blue Eyes White Dragon, Alex Arona.
You said it's in the heart of the card, right?
The heart.
So that's the other phrase I know. Trap card! Bam! Nailed it? Is that one?
That sounds good to me.
Nailed it. Got it. Got it in one, baby.
In two. We'll call it two. As I can't believe we have this guy back. Evil mastermind and very Looney Tune kind of guy, Joel DeWitte.
So here's the plan. I'm going to start a podcast with three of my friends. And then...
Friends is generous.
We're going to make... I need a broad term that encompasses everyone here. I felt like being generous, but, you know...
Yeah, work peoples.
But yeah, we then go find other podcasters and become friends with them, and then get them to podcast for us, and we keep on having everybody else go down the chain until it just has this great big network.
Is that a pyramid scheme?
What's a pyramid scheme?
It sounds like what you're trying.
First we get the cash. Then.
I don't know that that's the exact quote, but okay. I think you're close. Not last but not least, we got Grandpa who owns a card shop and is stuck in an alternate dimension, Alec Parks.
You know, in the dimension I came from, I was in 11.
Okay.
Still are in my heart, baby. Yeah, you know what's up.
Sometimes I wish I didn't. This week we're going to breeze through some easy games and early adopters. We get... I don't even know what we're doing with the news.
The news is a joke.
And I feel like it is. The news is... We got news, I guess. And then Joel finally learns the word mid in the backlog.
I've known that one for a while.
It's funny you should say that. Joel had a whole big discussion about young people terms. That he was teaching us all the terms.
Oh,
did he?
Phantom Tats is one.
Oh, yeah, that one.
Riz. What the Sigma is one right now. That I'm still trying to understand what it means.
So hot right now.
So hot?
So if anybody wants to let us know, feel free to write us or find us on social media and message us. Because I would love to learn.
Pretty sure that Sigma is not something you want to know about.
Oh.
I'll
Does
fill
that
you
mean
in
you
the
know?
break. I think I do.
It's a whole Bofa thing.
It's not
Yeah,
appropriate
it is.
for regular air?
No.
Now I'm concerned.
It should be.
It's
Jeez.
an Aldi's thing.
I'm told from sources that it is that it's like an alpha male.
Oh.
Okay.
So that is the current slang definition of it.
Yes.
And if anybody would know, it's the kids that Alex skateboards with.
They do use a lot of lingo that I'm like, I just pretend I'm like, yeah, wild.
Can you write it down the next time it happens? Just bring it to the podcast.
Yeah.
We're going to make it a thing here. We're going to learn how the kids talk. All right, guys, I'm ready. Let's do early adopters, where we play alphas, betas, and games. Do you ever feel like games trying to kill you, like actively murder you?
I feel like a lot of games are trying to kill me.
Yeah, I feel like we've had more of those lately.
What, spooky ones or ones that you're so bad at that you want to die?
Oh, more like if the game's trying to kill you, kind of thing.
Ah,
Yeah.
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 I mean, if you can't die, then what's the point?
What are we even doing?
Why are we here?
Are
Existential crisis in the early adopters?
Are we speedrunning life?
Get us to the game.
Yeah, the name of the game is, you ready?
Mm-hmm.
Is this game trying to kill me? So over on Steam, we all downloaded Is This Game Trying to Kill Me? The preface, and I hope that everybody finished it. This was your homework.
Was it?
Every week we get homework. You have to play the games to have part in the conversation. Otherwise, you get demerits, and if you collect too many demerits, then Alex makes you hang out with him in real life.
I mean, that's why he's coming over on Sunday to help me run cables.
There you go.
It's so mean. Why is hanging out with me punishing?
It's not. I'm just saying that you check up on us to make sure.
I just want to talk about the game.
All
The
right.
game is called, I think this game's trying to kill me. It is a first-person escape room game that includes a section where you have to play a video game. And that's pretty fun.
Right, there's a computer right in the middle of the room, and it's got that kind of basic Zelda top-down, walk and solve puzzles, find keys to unlock chests, but then it starts integrating stuff around the actual living room. Mm-hmm. So there's one puzzle where you have to pick the right emblems in the right order on the screen, and there's like 3 on each side or something. But you have to look up away from the screen at the end, and it'll show you what emblems and what direction order you go based off of a 3 different color switch that you have to switch back and forth to. And I was actually surprised with how clever a lot of this was. We've had plenty of these kind of like what's real and what's not interacting with both a game and an environment around you at the same time kind of thing.
Right.
So I feel like we've built the kind of basic understanding of what the toolkit usually is. But this actually surprised me a little bit with how varied they were. Like none of the puzzles seemed samey to me, and the mixture of the game within a game, it really uses that kind of gamer logic, right? So it's like I need to play this Super NES game, but then I have to jump into the 3D and figure that out too.
Yeah, very meta. If you will.
And there's a couple of things that really stood out to me for this one, and that is that you were kind of going through this spooky house, and then just this ghoul like opens the window and pops in your face and is like, "Oh, by the way, I'm here to murder you." Nah, I'm just kidding. You got to figure out this puzzle. It's fine. And then like I'll catch you later. And then it's just very. It goes from very ominous to very like, nah, I'm just playing. Okay. And then it just goes into the puzzles. And I'm playing the video game on the keyboard, and there's a look up button to like look around the room. So like sometimes there's like TV screens and like stuff, monitors you have to look around and kind of catch to go into the puzzles in the game. But at one point I messed up like a spike trap puzzle, and spikes come out of the PC and just
Right.
Yep.
Yep.
How about the water hazard? Did anybody fall in the water?
Oh yeah, I got the drowning achievement.
Yeah.
Yes.
I was not. That's kind of where I got stuck. I just couldn't find whichever monitor had the symbol quick enough to get to it, and I just kept dying there. And I need to get good.
Well, there's quite a few, so you couldn't just like stand up and look and hope that you would catch it. You had to do like a full sweep of the room. The puzzles are unforgiving. Haha, if you don't solve it correctly, or if you even slip up a little bit. We mentioned that there was the spike. I got bombs once. You guys see the bombs?
I got the bombs.
Yep.
I didn't know what was going on at first because the whole ceiling opens up and then bombs start falling down. You're like, oh, I should move.
Well, and part of the confusion with that too is that you're doing the bomb dodging in the game, right? In the computer game. And so it's kind of like a mess with your head thing where it's like, oh, wait, I thought I should be free from this. Now everything is here and I have to run and hide.
Yeah.
So it does like a lot with the, while being an escape room puzzle game, gives you these like kind of like whenever you die, it's just funny. It's just like okay. You get that really, like it doesn't feel painful. It doesn't feel like this thing. It doesn't say like, oh, this sucks. It's like, no, that was funny. That was a fun way to die. They kind of changed my expectations on what I'm supposed to be looking for. And I think at the end of the day, I think that like this, like Eddie's like, oh, why didn't you finish it? Same reason I don't finish some of these is because I just look at it and go, yeah, I'm probably gonna get this game.
And it's important to note that when you do die, it doesn't reset you very far. It's just back to that puzzle.
And that's an important piece to this too, because it would make me want to claw my eyes out if I had to sit there and redo a whole thing over and over again.
Joel, can I interest you in Inscription?
It's been a while, but I recall finishing that game.
I meant the opening part where you had to continually, if you didn't make it through the board game to start out with, you had to take the long walk back.
That's right. Yeah. There was definitely a hump to get over that game before it really gets going.
I really thought that was going to be the majority of the game, and then they just really got me. They were like, oh. Yeah. So, check out Is This Game Trying to Kill Me? We endorse it here.
Wishlisted.
All right. Another game that we played. I'm going to go with Sketchy Individuals. Sketchy Individuals. This is just like a browser game.
It's itch.io browser based.
Yeah.
This, you are a sketch artist, and people are describing things like, so this like anybody that committed a crime, and you have to fill in the gaps based on just context clues. A lot of times, like in the very beginning, they give you the guys like brown hair, round face, skinny nose, and they give you like a couple like, oh, there's a short fat nose, a long fat nose, a skinny nose, a small tiny nose, and they give you all these different options, and you have to put it together and do a list. And there's even a button at every piece, like skin color, and then they'll say ask, and you just press that button, and they give you information.
Mm-hmm.
But after the first initial like, here's how you play the game, it starts asking you like, you ask somebody like, hey, what color are their eyes? And he goes, the same color are gonna be when I'm done pounding them in. And it's like, well, that's not.
No, it's not helpful at all. And I felt like it was just like the general vibe of talking to regular people, and that's what made it great, is that you're not getting straightforward answers, so it adds to the challenge of sketching the faces.
There's this farmer, and he's angry because somebody milked his cow, and the thing he gets hung up on, so they give you all these different questions to ask based on each body type, and with those dialogues, a lot of times they're telling a story, and his story was like, this guy milked my cow, I'm angry, and I couldn't see all these details because the big beard was distracting me. And then if you choose the question of like, did he have any facial hair here, it just quickly just like, are you kidding me? Like he starts going on a rant about how you're not paying attention. So a lot of good writing too, and I appreciate that.
And what I found was like the more interesting pieces was that you, like the times that they wouldn't tell you the information you need, you could glean it from other questions. Where I'm like, oh, did they have a beard? And he goes, I don't know, I couldn't tell around his big fat chin. And it's like, oh, okay, because you said nothing about the chin earlier. Like I couldn't tell, but now he's giving me extra information that I can go back up and change and adjust. And that was the one good thing, is that you can kind of click on every option just to see, like, okay, this is what that looks like. This is what that kind of nose looks like. And then at the end of after you've gone through every category, you'll then be presented with a lineup, and you have to pick who got closest to what you drew.
Mm-hmm.
Or you could just be way off. I don't know.
Yeah, and now I did not finish this whole game because I kind of was expecting more feedback from it. I lost interest in it when I had no idea if I arrested the right person or not.
Yeah.
That's
Like
a good point.
that was the biggest thing missing from it, and it was like, okay, this is really cool, all the different stuff and the dialogue choices that you pointed out, but I need to know, did I choose right? I need some sort of feedback.
Yeah, you can't go around arresting the wrong person.
Yeah.
Or can you?
Oh,
There were definitely a couple
well.
times that someone, like, they gave me a description and I looked at what I drew and it's like, oh no.
Yeah.
I was kind of far off on a couple of these things. But I just kind of like did what had the most in common with my drawing and hope for the best.
Right, like any sort of score or anything like that, and even if it isn't a right-wrong, it's just like, oh, this person matched most of what you drew. Probably the right person. Or, hey, this doesn't match anything that you drew. You're getting no points.
This is
Some
a quick
sort of
build
feedback.
game.
Yeah,
So
it was a
I
game
don't know
jam.
if it was just an artistic choice that when they were finishing up, like, I don't think we have to do it, or maybe it was just to showcase how much they were able to program into it. It's the amount of combinations that you can have really opens it up for just to see how good you are at playing telephone.
Yeah.
Especially when, like, well, one of the people was like a child.
Yeah.
Or it's like a guy who's real mad that's like someone milked this cow, right?
Right, the child was upset that the person was using all the green ink in the printer.
Yep.
Yep.
It's a good reason to be upset.
Yeah, it is.
Who uses all the green ink?
Somebody's printing frogs, Alex.
No, thank you.
All those green screens.
And you know that that's like the one cartridge that has like 7 colors. And so replacing, like, even if you're like, I still got tons of blue and or cyan.
Yeah, it's too late.
Yeah, no.
You gotta
get
replace
rid of
the whole thing?
because someone went nuts on the frogs. It's a weird sentence. It's a weird sentence.
You said
Brand
it.
new sentence.
No one's ever said that sentence before.
There's no way to verify it either. Definitely don't Google that.
Okay, be right back.
That might take a while.
Yeah. So, Sketchy Individuals, again, browser based. You could, if you want to give it a shot, go in there, play around, check out some of the fun dialogue options. Otherwise, we got one more early adopter this week. Guys,
Y'all remember Crazy Frog?
Yes. I didn't need to remember Crazy Frog though.
it's too late.
Well, it is now in my search history.
I do not remember Crazy Frog.
You remember Crazy Frog?
Okay.
Yeah. He's gonna send it, I'm sure.
No, get us out of here. Get us out of here.
Last early adopter for this week. This one was Hard AF. That's the name. Hard AF. Hey, you guys, you know Super Meat Boy?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
The idea that you are just like this... It's, in a way, a platformer, but you're also moving at a extreme speed, and...
They have a genre now.
What is the genre?
Splatformer.
Splatformer.
Yep.
This takes that quite literally. Hard AF, as you're trying to maneuver through a stage, it is completely dark. And the only way that you're able to see is to explode yourself or to die in a terrible way, and then your blood will splatter all over the stage, and you'll start to see the appearance of like saw blades, sharp rocks, but just so much death. So much death. But if you're really good and persistent, then you can make it to the end. And this is a relatively quick demo. That we got
Yeah,
to
there was
play for
roughly
it.
9 levels.
But I mean, it gets your point across. Like, you know what you're getting into.
Yeah.
You know, like, we've known Meat Boy for what, almost a decade now.
I don't know that I ever met the Meat Boy.
I never played Super Meat Boy.
Really?
Yep.
Do you like 2D platformers?
This seems like video game homework.
How did you feel about this game?
I was kind of mixed on it, to be honest.
Okay.
He died a lot.
Well, yeah,
I did die.
Alec, tell us about what your thoughts on this game were.
Oh, it was challenging. It was. I liked what it was doing with the all black levels and having to explore as you go. Mm-hmm. I got through about half of it. Mm-hmm. And yeah, it was. It lived up to its name.
No, but what did you think about the speed and movement? What did you think about the locomotion here?
Oh, the locomotion was great. It was fluid. You were snappy, and you had that nice dash to get over spikes, get through saw blades and things that were moving. You could use instead of trying to wait for them and time it. You could just zip through things as almost a dodge.
Yeah, so that's what like Meat Boy kind of goes along with, is this idea that like, oh, it's this very fast and super like pixel perfect critical jumping and dodging and wall running and clinging onto the sides, avoiding the buzzsaws, and if you die, it's just like right away respawn.
Mm-hmm. But an important feature of this stuff too is having some sort of tally or store at the end. Or a kind of summary. 'Cause Super Meat Boy, one of the best parts is that after you complete the level, you get to see all the ghosts of you running their courses and dying in the spots that they died, and it gets marked. So
at
it's
the exact same time, so they're all just jumping at the same time and moving because you're seeing them all in the same. So yeah, if you took like 30 attempts, you see 30 Meat Boys jumping around all the time.
Nice.
But in the similar vein, when you die as Meat Boy, you explode everywhere and coat the surfaces. So you really do get that's the DNA, is that where this came from. That idea is very much this.
Yeah, but that black on black level, so tough to even hazard where you're going to go first and then just give it 2 or 3 deaths.
Yeah, at some point your strategy just starts with splatter the walls with your blood and then go from there. Like,
hence the explode button.
I'd rather run face first into a saw. It's much more fun that way.
I would just try everything. I also like there was like cosmetic little like hats and but like so it was like a little bit horror themed, so you can get like Jason Voorhees' mask and stuff.
Yes.
Yeah, cosmetics were good.
And for those cosmetics, you noticed as you died, it would subtract them from the grand total.
What do you mean?
So you could unlock one of the masks, and every time you died, you know how when you unlocked it, it popped up with a number.
They were consumables, huh?
Because I did know that I kept unlocking more and more of the same.
And that's why at the end of the stage, when you hit that like screen where it tells you how you placed, it has a little face next to it, and that's the mask that you're wearing. So if your strategy, was to run in and like die 30 times, and you had one of the rarer masks, then you would not have it anymore. So it incentivizes you to play well so that you can keep your masks, but also that when you hit that leaderboard and you have a very difficult mask to find, then you're setting yourself apart.
I always played with a random mask. I didn't realize that either. That's really neat.
Yeah, I like that.
And then
it definitely makes the it makes the cosmetic feel like there is like an inherent value there.
Yeah, because you can prove it. Well, mostly. Joel had some call outs on that one, right?
Oh, just one. I think you boarded on like 5 or 6 that I didn't even hit the top 10 in.
Okay.
I just found the one and needed to gloat about it briefly.
Yeah, these stages are real quick, so but it feels good when you...
They are. It's going to be madness when this is let loose and people are figuring out how to complete it in one run.
That's nuts. Okay. Alex said wish listed?
Yep. It's on mine.
Yeah, I guess I could do this one.
I don't know. I'm thinking about buying Super Meat Boy.
Video game homework.
It's on sale right now. 75% off.
How much is that? Like
$3.40 or 74 cents.
Okay, we can make that happen.
So much meat for so little money.
Alec, you should do that. Or
Oh.
if I could do it too.
There's the manager special that has all of them for $10.
You should
I mean, it's really about like who wants to make that video game homework, because that should be.
probably
Well,
not.
who's
Alec?
after Alec?
It's my turn.
Then it's me. So, again,
That's your
I'll
call.
go harder. I know. Let's keep going.
You do whatever you want, but we're going to take a break, so we'll see you in a few. Oh, yeah. We still got podcast stuff, don't we? All right.
We'll do that.
You usually. Let's move it on over to the news. This is the news with Super GG Radio. Now with 10% better graphic fidelity. I don't know if that's going to be true,
Who
but
got the upgrade?
Yeah.
Nintendo, I hear. But that's just trying to segue into a news article.
Mm-hmm.
So, I guess Nintendo bought third-party porting devs from Embracer. What that
Somebody did
means
something.
is that hopefully they're going to be able to help with some of the porting that we saw. We got some MK1 and some Hogwarts Legacy Switch ports. They didn't work specifically on those, did they?
I think they did.
They actually did. And
Oh, okay.
Funny enough, they worked on MK11 port to the Switch as well, which it supposedly was a pretty decent port.
Yeah.
People I know
That's
say
the
that
good one.
the Hogwarts
That's the
Legacy port was pretty decent as well. So, I'd be really curious to see how they're utilized. I feel like there's either one or two tracks. Either Nintendo uses it for like porting their legacy stuff to more current consoles, or maybe they somehow use this to collaborate with third-party developers as like a special dev house for them to work with and try and get more third-party developers on.
Yeah, like they open a room and they're like, this is what we've got. And it's just 6 guys, sweaty, sitting over their computers, porting games. That's the incentive, right?
It's Nintendo time. Or it's Mario time. Crap.
It's Mario time.
Mario time.
It's Mario time.
I don't know what crunch time is. I only know what Mario time is. All right. I did not see that this happened, but I guess this is popular. Elden Ring Shadow of the Erd Tree trailer has appeared?
Yep, they released the story trailer. People are real hyped. There's dissection videos. Everyone's ready. This game is coming out. Well, the DLC is coming out this year. So
I'm surprised. I expected you to be on board with this, Getty.
I mean, I can still play the game and not watch the trailer.
But you're not hype?
I guess. Like,
He
I'm
said
real...
We're gonna play the campaign. We're gonna start from scratch and do it multiplayer only.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to that. Didn't you know? Alex told us that we were doing it last week.
I don't remember that happening.
Yeah, because...
It doesn't mean I didn't tell him. Though.
you weren't here.
I'm leaving that window open. Do you realize?
I might have told him.
I had said that it's a possibility that they may have been told to me at some point.
The whole conversation was, yeah, I found this sweet mod that works on PC where you can play multiplayer for Elden Ring. And I said, well, that doesn't sound like fun. And he's like, yeah, you can you can spawn up the enemies again if one person stays at the camp. And then he's just going to gank all my kills. I know what's going on here.
Yeah, it's last hits. Also, you could turn on friendly fire or turn it off. There's a lot of good stuff.
It's so ridiculous. Yeah, I mean, Elden Ring is a commitment. I'm sure that this DLC is going to be pretty beefy too.
But it'd be fun to have us all farming together. And then
Would
just,
it?
Like, and then all throwing our bodies and corpses at a boss.
That's never been my strategy, but
I would be a tank.
I'm worried about how you play.
How dare you?
Actually, you know what? I have seen firsthand how you played.
Are you
because
saying
I was
it's a
helping
skill
you with some
issue?
bosses. No. No, I've just seen how he plays.
I'd be the tank.
It's real aggro.
I'd be the tank.
All right.
But he can't keep the aggro when he dies.
Stop taking the aggro from me.
There's no heals in Elden Ring.
No heals.
That's not true. I've been healed.
No. I'm telling you, you're not getting any heals.
Oh, there. That's a choice, not a lack of functionality.
Everybody's going melee class. No spellcasters. Gonna have a bad time.
Yep.
Is there a
All right.
ranged class?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you could do bow.
The
But you're not
spellcasting
allowed.
Class is actually, like they say, easy mode.
So that's what I should
Prove
be
it.
doing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, some of
I
those
chose
spells are
bleed like a
ridiculous.
sucker.
Maybe we'll make it happen. All right. Next piece of news from software director. Oh, why do you guys got to do this to me? Hidetaka Miyazaki.
You tried your best.
We'll give you the points for that.
Okay. Expressed interest in producing new Armored Core. Hey, Joel, how about that last Armored Core?
I loved that game, and I would have loved to go back to it, but Sony's dead to me, so it's sort of
It's
a
the sea
closed door.
cucumber.
It's on PC, dude.
Yeah, and when it's on sale for the right price, I'll be happy to give it another go.
Was that not on Game Pass?
No.
No,
Okay. If you're sure.
they would need to buy From Software to get From Software's games under.
Yeah, that's how that works.
All right. We got more acquisitions? Maybe? Oh. I don't know if I like any of these. Atari acquires Intellivision. That's for Joel?
Yeah, this is for Joel. This is a Joel joint.
They were competitors. It's kind of weird. It's a very Sonic and Mario kind of thing. Just thought it was worth mentioning. But
Yeah.
a bunch of old games being shared with a bunch of old games.
But they're doing new games now.
They are. Atari supposedly was going to do a brand new console, but that fell through, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what else fell through? Our KFC gaming console.
Speaking of dead to me.
I haven't been to a KFC since.
It's good. We're boycotting.
Yep.
Bunch of liars. All right. Multiverses. You guys remember Multiverses?
We did a video on it, and then it went under. It didn't go under.
It disappeared.
just went dormant. Yeah.
It disappeared, but it's coming back.
Yep.
It's returning May 28th. New characters. You got Jason, Joker, and Agent Smith. And that's in addition to a lot of the previous cast members or fighters that you got to select in the original iteration, yeah?
It's either Looney Tunes.
You got some
Scooby-Doo?
Game of Thrones in there.
Yeah. There's Batman with
Yep.
Kevin
Batman.
Conroy doing the voices, which was cool. Yeah.
What's cool about this, like, Joel, did you get a chance to watch the trailer?
I did not. No.
It's very much like the Smash Brothers trailers, where it's like you see like the one-on-one combat, like in full 3D kind of animated, and then like they knock him through a building, and then there's another fight happening somewhere else, and it's like a full, just like kind of like a little cinematic, cartoony thing.
All right.
So it was actually very cool.
You know, in absence of
it was
a new
good
Smash
message.
Brothers, I'm glad that stuff is starting to fill in the cracks between releases, especially with how far between there are with the Smash Brothers series. So I'm fully for it. I hope they succeed, and maybe
Yeah, so
I'll
they had
actually
the-
download it. We'll see.
Because they had the two Nickelodeon ones, right?
All-Star
Yeah.
Brawl.
Brawl.
PlayStation hasn't tried in a while. I'd be okay with them taking a second pass at it.
I liked that one.
It was different in a way that made it feel fresh. I'm not sure if I was ready for it though. I was too ingrained into the Smash system.
You were Smash pilled.
Please don't ever say that again.
The kids say.
That didn't feel good.
What's next?
Last one. Somehow, someone figured out how to beat Super Mario 64 without using the A. That's the jump button. Is this real?
Yeah.
Yes. As of like 1 day ago.
So now people are figuring out how they can speed run, specifically
Speed run,
using
no
those
jumps?
parameters.
Oh. Always got to one-up the internet, huh?
Like the one guy
Never
is like,
ends.
I figured it out, and everyone's like, perfect. Now let's figure out how to do it faster. He's like, I just did it, guys. Give me like 30 seconds of fame. No? Okay.
Nope. Ow, that really hurts.
Now
right
I
in the
did
nerd.
no A button only using a banana controller.
Are you gonna do that one?
No. Though I am trying to get Joel into speedrunning, and I'm trying to find games for him to speedrun.
You give me some options and we'll talk.
Okay. I can do that. That's not hard for me.
Give me some
Speed
options.
run
and we'll
Hollow
talk.
Knight.
It's not gonna be Lion King though.
Hollow Knight.
That was
Yeah,
what I
Hollow Knight.
I heard Hollow Knight.
Speed run Hollow Knight.
Absolutely.
Without
Trying to kill
jumping.
me
Without jumping.
without jumping.
With a randomizer.
All right, and the current PS4 Hollow Knight, there is way too many people who've speedrun this thing. Over 900 people. And the current time is 36 minutes.
That's disgusting.
Well, Joel, time to get good.
Strap in, buddy.
Bye, kids. I'll see you in 20 years.
It's all muscle memory. I don't think there's any thought that goes into it if you're speed running it that quickly.
I mean, to be fair, the speedrun is all laid out for you.
Yeah, you just have to do it.
Yeah, just
Sure, you just have to do that.
follow through, man.
Exactly that.
Yeah, the instructions are there.
Well, you don't have 27 minutes. Alex, that makes me so mad.
But
Just like, yeah, you just watch it and do it like,
just do it.
no.
Just do it. Just come on. It's right there, man. You don't have to. You're not
No.
doing strats. You're just watching and performing. It's all performative.
That's where the randomizer comes in. You've got strats and possibilities based off what you get first.
Alec is
Yeah, but then
determined to
again,
add an
that you
extra layer of hell to all this.
Yes, exactly.
Absolutely.
But it doesn't make for speed runs.
Oh yeah,
You
it
have
does.
to have something that is dedicated.
Yeah, otherwise he's going to waste too much time going back and forth around the map.
It's where you get seeds.
Yes, we could get seeds, Alec. I never want to say that word again. Let's continue.
All right. We're going to move on over to freebies.
Freebies.
Freebies!
Freebies!
Freebies. You ready to do this, Alex?
I am.
Are you sure?
I got them all up.
You Googleized all the games?
I did Googleize them all.
All right, let's do it. First one, Talisman Digital Edition over on Steam.
The officially licensed multiplayer. What is it licensing? I don't know. The classic fantasy adventure board game Talisman. On your travels, you will need strength, courage, and some good dice rolls to survive the dangers you face and beat your opponents to the center of the board. I guess that's the goal. Oh, so this is a board game.
Yes.
Cool. 1 to 6 players.
All right. Grab 5 friends. There we go.
I only have one friend. Me.
All the DLC is
Oh.
50% off too.
Only 50% off?
Yeah, it's down to $102.50.
Oh. All right. Well, we gave you a game for free, and Alec found a way to charge you, so. Next one, Blockstorm over on Steam.
First-person shooter, but it's all voxel-based, aka Minecraft. All maps and characters included in the game are made with the same tools that are available to the public. You can build everything in Blockstorm, and you can destroy it. Wear a Gundam suit and shoot Raditz in the face with an AK-47. That's what I'm looking at here in these screenshots. Oh, that's Bender. That's not illegally. Bender should not be shooting Jack Skellington in the face. That's not cool.
All right, so maybe get that one sooner than later for when it
Create
gets
your
taken
own,
down.
Terrorist attack with the Blockstorm.
No. I don't
Nope.
like that.
Nope. No one likes that. What's up next?
Next one, Deluge, Sermon of the Dead, over on Steam.
This is a visual novel with psychological and Lovecraftian undertones, and with some light dungeon exploration. High school girls have been disappearing from Abbotsford. Unravel the mystery before all things wash away in a tidal wave of deep despair.
Okay.
Deluge, Sermon of the Dead.
This one's for Joel. Farming Simulator 2022.
Would it surprise you if I already have that in my account?
No.
Okay.
That's on the Epic Game Store.
Yep, I don't need to talk about that one.
You like farming?
Nope.
This is for you. All right. Last one that we have this week. Warhammer 40k Gladius Relics of War.
Don't look at me. This is DLC, buddy.
Okay.
No, it's not.
What is it?
It's a base game.
Was it?
It's a base game.
It is not.
Yes, it is.
I already own it, and it said DLC.
Huh.
Alec, you tell me about it.
I just grabbed it myself. It's a 4X game.
What do those
Extend.
4 X's stand for?
Oh, don't do that to me. Explore, expand, exploit, and exterminate.
There we go. Hey, good work. Good work, Alec. That was impressive.
Thank you. I cheated. But hey, shh. It's a strategy game in the Warhammer 40k universe.
All right. There's a lot of those. A lot of strategy games. Let's go ahead and take a quick break so we can finish strong? I don't know. And we're back with the Backlog Blog, where we play games with the best pro tags. I just saw both of these games and thought, yeah, that's what they have in common. First one, somebody played Little Kitty, Big City.
Little Kitty, Big City! It wasn't me.
So we're going for the uplifting part first. Got it. Yeah, so this is something we tried at Summer Game Fest. We did see it there, and it very much was an open sandbox kind of demo where it felt kind of aimless, and you had objectives, but it didn't necessarily seem obvious where it was going to lead you to. And this is kind of this. The full game's kind of that. So, Little Kitty Big City, you play a black cat who is perched on their ledge of their apartment building. They're knocked down to the ground level where they don't know where they are or how they got there or how to get back home. And your job is to find a way back home.
Are you describing Stray or Little Kitty Big City?
Little Kitty Big City. Is that pretty much the same
Stray
thing?
adjacent.
It's the same thing.
Okay.
Cat falls down and can't get back home.
Okay. Fair enough. All right. There are less
okay.
creepy robots here than
Hey.
there are in that. But
Some of those robots were sweet.
I like those robots, man.
I got so many pets from robots.
Yeah.
But this game, that's the table states, this focuses a lot more on the fun of an idea of being a cat. Like, at the time I played Stray, there is joy in the kind of like the way they've got the button set up where you can claw things. You know, if you find something that you can really dig your claws in, or how you can knock stuff off a ledge and see them break, and all that fun stuff. This does that stuff, but where Stray focuses on like the fidelity of a lot of it, Little Kitty Big City focuses on the silly. So like the paw button is just very harsh, like whap. You know, you're gonna just hit it real quick. The missions are things that are ranging more on the silly. So one is like become an artist early on, and in that section what you're doing is finding a tarp where an artist has a canvas on the ground with 4 buckets of paint, and your job is to paw the buckets of paint all over and then start stepping on it with wet paint paws and things like that. And so like that's one fun one. Early on, a crow finds you and offers to help you, provided that you give him 50 shinies. Shinies in this case are like just shiny junk, so like coins or screws and bolts and things like that. Somehow becomes a currency. But it very naturally gates you off, and then you open it up gradually over time. So one of the barriers is a dog, and it'll just be a dog like standing next to an open walkway that'll bark at you and try to attack you if you get too near it, right? It's just a harsh pushback. As a cat, you can find different hats and costumes, and one of the hats is a Shiba Inu hat. Yeah. and you put that on your head, and suddenly those dogs think you're a dog. That's how you open up certain sections of the map.
That's the best.
Makes sense.
So, a lot of little clever things like that, and like there's so many stories that you get from playing this stuff. Even one of the missions is that you have to collect a bunch of ducklings that have found themselves lost, and their father duck is sitting waiting for them. And one of the sections is an open laundromat. In this laundromat, you have to climb the building to sneak your way in, and the duck is sitting inside of a washer as it's spinning around. And it's it's like a ride to him, like he's having the time of his life. And it's your job to figure out how to turn it off, because he's saying, I'm not going to leave until this ride's done. But the problem is that he put enough coins in there for it to last like a year. So without intervention, he would be in there. But what you end up having to do is you see the lead of the electrical cord and reading to a red button. Well, what you need to do is, as the cat, ram it with your head to push the button. Yeah. But you don't... I didn't necessarily think about that as an option. So I was like sitting there like pawing it and being like, why won't this button press? And it took like 10 minutes of me messing with things to figure out, like, wait, if I run, I hit my head into the wall. Wait, that's what I should be doing. But just little experiences like that add up. And it is a short experience. It is not something where you're going to feel things, you're not going to feel feelings about it or anything like that. But if you're looking for something that's very much like, I'm going to put this on, play it 30 minutes to an hour, maybe somebody is watching TV in the background, and just chill and do cat stuff and cause mischief and solve little problems. That's what you're in for, and it's pretty good.
I mean, that's kind of funny. It's like, I don't know, do cat stuff. It's like
that's just kind of what it is. It's like the most charitable version of what you perceive a cat doing, right? Because it's like that. Or one dog had tennis balls that were his favorite tennis balls that he lost, and so you have to like climb around and find those and things. It's little harmless things in a world that the stakes, I mean, besides the cat getting home, the stakes are very low. Like there's no point where you're in like mortal danger or anything.
Yeah. Okay. And this is from our friends over at Pop Agenda. Did you play Stray at all or no?
I did. I got through part of it, and then I lost my account with PSN, and that was the end of that. So.
Yeah, but do you like the aesthetic and the look of Little Kitty Big City?
I do. Like the graphical fidelity of Stray with the stuff can't be beat. It's like everything else, sort of a marquee kind of pedigree thing they were going for. But this is cutesy fun. Everything's colorful. What's funny is that all the animal characters are really detailed, but the humans that walk around are like faceless and very like basic, almost like if like Katamari, like the people in Katamari Damacy or something like that. So there's this fun bit of like mishmash too that just for if you can like logicize the idea of like, well, animals are really gonna only pay attention to other animals. Humans are just these like giants roaming around. So yeah, it was fun. I enjoyed it.
Who's the best animal friend that isn't another cat that you met in the game?
The raccoon. The raccoon is the fast travel guy. So there are manholes throughout the map, and the raccoon is sitting there like, hey, I'll open the spot for you if you give me 5 feathers. And it's like, to get feathers, you have to pounce on birds unsuspectingly. So it's not that hard. And,
So he's an agent of chaos, is what you're telling me.
yeah, like he wants to enable your worst instincts. So
That's what all raccoons, I feel like, should be doing.
yeah, that's on brand, I think. Yeah.
Now, the important question, though, is there a dedicated meow button?
There is. That's a very important question. I'm glad you brought it up. There is. It is a lot of high-pitched meows, and none of them have the kind of depth you would get from like the full-throated meow from Stray, but it's very thematically correct. It's silly, fun. He has this nice, crazy like shriek when you jump into water on accident. That was, if I had like one little nagging grievance, is that there are spots where I want to run that they don't allow you, because when you run, you're sort of unwieldy. Like, you don't have any turn radius when you're running. So there are these spots where there's a lot of water puddles nearby. And when you run into a water puddle, you hiss, jump, meow backwards a certain amount of space. You can end up with a situation where you're like jumping back and forth between water puddles because you're stuck in a loop.
Oh.
Never game breaking, but it was one of those things where it's just like, oh shoot, I wasted 5 seconds having to watch me do that. But
All right, that's good. I'm glad you are you still playing it or not?
I am still playing it. I'm close to the end here, I'm pretty sure. But it's a good experience. It's something where, for the price they're asking for, I think you can get your bit of fun out of it.
Awesome.
So you bought copies for everybody on the podcast then?
I thought I'd save it for video game homework, but
Yeah.
All
It's on my
right.
wish list, honestly.
We already got the next 3 games picked, huh?
You got to start planning ahead, Getty.
I don't know. Speaking of planning ahead, that doesn't work at all.
Yeah.
Alex, you got to play Indika.
Yeah, I reviewed it for our website a few weeks ago, and it's just, I just want to talk about it with you guys. Indika, we played it also for summer, not summer, and
Steam Next Fest.
Steam Next Fest.
Yep.
And for Steam Next Fest, Indika is you are a nun in this convent who is then tasked with taking a letter to another convent, and in doing so gets into some shenanigans where she ends up getting kidnapped and held at gunpoint and being forced to go on this adventure with this wounded soldier who's got arm rot.
That's a thing.
Yeah.
He's got arm rot, but also the idea that God is speaking to him and sending him on a particular journey. And
to heal his arm.
Right. Yep.
And then on the other side, Indika's got a lot of questions regarding her faith. And they kind of come into fruition through a satanic figure that speaks to her in the back of her mind.
And
Yep.
when we played it, that was the craziest part.
It still is. It just gets crazier.
It's more like you get kind of used to it, right? Like it's always wild, and the sections where he really invades are spaces where he'll start chattering. It'll be the same chant and sort of critique of you and tearing you down as sort of a sinful monster. And then there's a pray button that you hold down, and it's like what collapses things back into reality while she's sitting there chanting prayer. But these spaces, it's not just some sort of psychological effect thing. It's also a mechanic. So there are these platform areas where you have to let go and let him go wild to open up a space, or then pray and bring it back in so you can go to another platform and then let it stretch back out so you can cross a bridge or something. It's a very interesting mixture of actual gameplay and storytelling that, the interactivity of something like this is really what makes this a good story.
And the other part is that he he invades the space with just like you said, he's constantly talking to you, he's constantly in your ear, but every once in a while you'll start to see like a hand crawl over her shoulder, and like you'll see like eyes just like right behind her head, and it's like, oh, that's so weird that he's like physically there all of a sudden, and then she goes, what, and like shakes her head, and all of a sudden he's gone. Just these little like bits and pieces of what's going on.
There's one point early on where she is receiving communion, and like as the priest is about to receive communion, he turns into a monster. Something scary like that happens.
No, he doesn't turn into a monster. He's going like this. He looks at her and goes, and then a man pops out of his mouth.
That's right. That's right.
And
a little man or a full-size man?
A little man. And it's like horrifying because you don't expect it at all. It's like, oh, it's a communion scene, and the man just looks at her and goes, like, it's really kind of crazy.
But she flips out. It creates more, like, part of the story is that she is not liked by anybody she's with. Like, she is a burden that they deal with, even though they send her to do these basic chores on their behalf, right? And part of even the letter thing was like the story as the story goes on, it's like they want her to be on this quest for a reason, and it plays into things like the story is such a fascinating thing, and I think what's really cool about the devilish kind of personality trait too is like he is narrating things as they happen. And so you run to the soldier, and suddenly he starts talking about like attraction to him, and how she is having like lustful feelings for him, and how she's struggling with that as a nun, because that's not something that a nun is supposed to be like thinking about, at least in her mind, right? So it's really good exploration into kind of her character psyche too.
Yeah, and there's a lot of like conversations around faith and what does it mean, and what does it mean to you? And that's kind of where we had talked about before when we played it originally, was that there's like a lot of like chiptune video game music, and there's like a leveling system with skill trees.
Mm-hmm.
Faith points?
Yep.
Yes, where you want to get regret or guilt. And it's like, which one do you want? More points in regret or guilt? And it's like, I don't want any of these things. And the thing is, though, is that actually pays off in a very like satisfying way. I mean, I don't want to spoil it, but I will just say like the ridiculousness of that is on purpose. And so it just kind of like is a conversation on what faith is just in general. Like at the end of the day, they're like, sure is weird that you're doing this stuff and getting points, huh? It's weird. It's weird.
Faith points. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like,
Scoring
are points
points
really
for the
important?
afterlife.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly. Like, are the points important? Do they do a thing?
I mean, there's a reason why Martin Luther separated from the church and started his own sect of Christian faith, but yeah, it's.
I thought you were gonna make a different reference there.
Martin Luther King.
Also, the world is a little fantastical. I don't know if you realize that, Joel.
Elaborate.
Like you go into a fish processing center, and as you keep going further and further into the fish processing center, the fish get increasingly bigger.
Yeah.
To the point that the size of a house, and then you're like, oh, this is where they can all the fish, and then you get to a point where like the cans are like again just stacked like towers high, and you have to like use a forklift and start climbing up them because the cans are bigger than a person.
It's a very weird mishmash of different like types of gameplay that some of them get kind of like annoying, but it's so short when you have to do it that you're never lingering on it long enough for it to matter. So that kind of mishmash, I'll set one out, said about like the currency stuff. You know, the story goes on and you get to this ending, and it is one of those endings that is satisfying if kind of inconclusive. So like,
I found it very conclusive.
Well, I mean, it is conclusive to the story, but like I feel like there's more to explore for that character, maybe.
Oh, absolutely.
You know? So like there's a conclusion in terms of like her story arc where she is a nun and she's
just getting started.
Right. Yeah. Like it feels very like there's opportunity to mine more here.
I mean, in the very beginning, the game starts and it's like, hey, go fill this bucket with water from the well, and it has you walk very slowly to the well, turn the crank down, turn the crank back, put the water in your bucket, bring it over and put it in a basin, then do it again, and you do it like 9 to 11 times. And you do it because you're like, well, the video game is telling me to do this. The game is telling me to do this, which, again, is kind of a conversation on faith. You're doing it. Why? Because they're telling you to do it. And then as soon as you do it and you did the task, lady opens up the door and goes, no, and dumps the basin and then goes, I need you to deliver a letter. It's like, what? What just happened? It was like 15 minutes of my day. Like, I just spent doing this, and that's the point.
So
That's the point.
Joel was complaining about the fact that like he'd get caught up in Little Kitty Big City, and he'd like initiate an animation like, 5 seconds of my life, and you actively did this for 20 minutes.
It's about intent, okay?
It's intent.
It's intent.
It's saying it's the point.
You know, Little
It's
Kitty
the
Big City,
exact
it was
point.
not their intent for me to get into an endless cat streaming
Right.
loop. Indika wanted me to suffer, and I went on that journey willingly.
Okay.
It did exactly what it needed to do.
And you feel worse of a person or better of a person?
Oh, much. This might
be my church for the year.
this might be my game of the year, maybe. It does
Oh, yeah?
enough of the weird. that
Game
I
of the
don't-
year?
I don't know if anything is gonna do as weird as this.
Yeah. It's not often where you feel like you're having a wholly unique experience in this medium, but I'm having a hard time getting a proper comparison to this. And
Oh.
Right? There's really nothing to compare it to. It's just this really, like, oh, we had an idea and we just like went for it, and we had enough like money to make it so no one could say no. Here we did it on our own, and you tell the story with really out there, like, we didn't even talk about that. There's flashbacks to Indika's history that are really grim, but it's told in 8-bit pixel art platformer.
yeah.
Like, or not even platformer.
Oh my gosh.
Sometimes you're doing a kart racing. Sometimes
Yep.
you're doing kart racing.
Yeah, that's right.
Sometimes you're doing sometimes you're doing platforming. Sometimes you're just doing like sometimes like a little like a stealth mission, but it's like 8-bit platforming sections, and it's just like what are we doing? And it's all cohesive. All of it's for a point. All of it's saying something, and that's where no one is doing a full package deal. Like
Well, even like the
All
8-bit
right.
stuff, I think the developers their intent was framing it in a way that somebody who's playing video games a long time could really resonate with, because the idea of like 8-bit, 16-bit, a lot of people our age, that was our childhood gaming time. So it's like if you're doing a flashback to a person's earlier age, that's an interesting way to try to loop it and relate it to the player's experience too.
So yeah, that's what I mean. It may not be the best game I played. Like this game, I got stuck. I fell through the world. I had glitches. Doesn't matter. I just was like, well, I want to keep going. I got to keep going. I don't care because it's doing something that I haven't seen, and I still feel that way to the end, where I'm like, I don't know. I could play any game right now, and I'm still like, yeah, I've kind of played something like this before.
Okay.
Hell, I'm playing Haunty, and that's like, oh, the embargo's gone, so I played Haunty, and that's, oh, wait a minute, that's Mario Odyssey.
All right.
Yep.
Good. We're going to go over to one last thing. And this week's one last thing is brought to you by starting an internet feud with Clint Eastwood.
Don't set me up like that.
Believe Joel went over to his ex, and he posted, what was it? Get off my lawn.
No, it was just me. It was an image of me photoshopped into that picture of him standing next to an empty chair like he was talking to Obama. You guys remember that?
What did I miss on Twitter?
Well, you missed that.
What's
Apparently,
Twitter?
I still have an account. For one.
Do you?
No, I absolutely do not.
Did you do it from ours?
There's
Trying
only one way to
start
find
beef
out.
with Clint Eastwood.
Is
trying to
that
find
me? I'm going to go through a murderer's row of old action stars and to just start
Hey.
beef with.
That's where the joke is going. Is it true? Alex is still looking.
I can't find it.
I don't want to get to like Stallone or Schwarzenegger.
I thought about Stallone.
Van
I was like,
Damme
eh,
or
Arnold,
Dolph Lundgren or no. I don't want any of that.
Joel versus
Well,
Mike
Bruce Willis
Tyson.
is
Yeah,
Alright.
no, I do not want to be Logan Paul or whoever it was. That is foolishness. I'm sorry.
Well, Mike Tyson?
Yeah.
Did you hear the rules for that?
No.
He could call his brother in at any point.
For real.
That's
And one of the
that's
other
not how
rules was, like,
boxing works.
They don't have to weigh in, meaning they could definitely bulk up outside of the weight class.
Okay. All right.
There's a lot of dumb rules in this, and they're still going to get destroyed.
It's real dumb.
It's
All right,
dumb.
one last thing. I'll do mine first. We do have a long weekend coming up here in the United States, so hopefully I'll be able to get some gaming in. I have finally made it to the open world portion of Final Fantasy VII. Yeah, it's even more open now.
Jesus.
Not a joke. I'm almost done though.
Nice.
Alex,
I was told we might go see Furiosa.
maybe. Man, you gotta come at me with a time, a day.
I could do it. I'll come up with you a time.
Oh yeah, I could come up with a day and time.
Dude, I'll
Do
go
that
see-
all
I really want to see Furiosa.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure. For realsies, that movie looks amazing.
So
That's my one last thing.
Okay. Usually you have two, so
No.
completely floored. Joel,
Yeah. So I've needed some comfort food gaming, and there was a empty bare spot in my entertainment center where my PlayStation 5 used to be. So I plugged in the Wii U, and I've started a journey with Legend of Zelda: The Wind Waker, and it is such a better game than Tears of the Kingdom. Just so
You know, it's
so
funny-
colorful and delightful. Great character, and gosh, that Ganondorf looks menacing. So
It's funny you say that. I've heard people like now talking about it, like, it plays real good on the Steam Deck.
My biggest problem with it was the gating in there. No, the boat says you can't go there yet. I want to find out that I can't go there. Let me figure out that I missed an item.
I'm okay with it. You keep me out of harm's way, Mr. Boatman.
I've beaten like 3 Legend of Zeldas out of like 11. I'm not.
What are the 3?
it's okay.
Ocarina of Time. The one after that,
Majora's
Majora's
Mask.
Mask.
Majora's Mask. The one that they re-released on Switch.
Twilight Princess. No.
No.
Was that
Oh, Skyward Sword.
No, the one that
The
is
other
on
one.
island.
Link's Awakening?
I think it's Link's Awakening.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
I should probably beat Link to the Past, huh?
Yeah, you should.
No, you shouldn't do that.
Speed run it.
Yeah. Speed
that's
run.
That's
You
gonna
know
be
that's
like
not
one
a
of the
good-
most precise speed
Yeah.
runs on Earth.
So,
Beat Past.
get good.
GBA. Let's go with the SNES.
All right, while he's doing
man,
that-
that's a lot, man. That's a lot. That's over 1,000 people. 1 hour and 22 minutes.
That's more than I expected, actually.
All right, Alec.
I actually played games this week. Ooh.
No, you get out of here.
I know, it's crazy.
Who are you?
Playing Monster Hunter because you didn't text me.
I was waiting for you to hop online. I was on Discord.
I was online the entire time.
He
I
was
was literally
more on
waiting.
online.
I even pulled up my character. Apparently, I'm a longsword guy on PC.
But I did play Monster Hunter, and I found out that apparently I have a copy of Whisker Squadron Survivor, so I played some of that.
Cool.
I want to play some more of that. It was pretty good.
Joel, you get on that Contra yet?
I bought it.
Okay. I hear it's good. I hear it's very good.
I'm looking forward to playing it the next time I start up Vampire Survivors, for sure.
But
Okay.
that Whisker Squadron's pretty good.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. That'll be it for this week's episode of Super GG Radio. Before we go, you can find us on X, formerly Twitter, at Super GG Radio, and twitch.tv/Super GG Radio, where Thursdays, much like tonight, we're doing a podcast. It's live. You can see us. You can see how many buttons I've unbuttoned tonight.
What's the final tally?
More than I felt was appropriate.
Well, I mean, I never stood up, so you'll never really know. You gotta pay extra for that. I mean, you could also listen to the audio version if
Also
you
find Getty on feetfinder.com.
I am not on that. But-
That you know of. Again, your wife keeps sending me pics.
So anyway, Wednesdays, Alex is still playing some Monster Hunter.
Yep.
He's trying to-
Possibly Monster Hunter World with Alec if he texts me back.
That was my bad. There was a lack of communication.
I don't know.
I'm not making promises, but I might be willing to tag in as a third if there's the right coordination.
You beat it too, man. We could really like F some stuff up.
Uh-huh.
Get that baby installed. To long install.
All right.
How long?
That's it. 15 minutes.
You know, like 10 minutes.
Depends on if you get the high texture pack or not.
Ooh.
You don't need that.
Go Getty.
Yeah, I'm waiting to see if Joel is streaming or if he's still on hiatus.
Oh, I think I cleared the ledger this week, so I will be back on my bullshit with Vampire Survivors. I will dedicate one night for 3 hours of The Lion King. I think that's the total.
Now 4?
No, I'm adding that to the tally. We're at 3. We're at 3 hours. So that'll be one evening here. Just be on the lookout. I'm not scheduling a thing.
The king has returned.
It starts.
It starts. All right. So no more Mass Effect. That's done. It's gone.
Not. What's your rule for viewers, Daddy?
Mine?
How many before we start?
You see, here's the problem. I follow through even if we don't have the viewers.
Well, I'm not as good a person, so if you want to watch Mass Effect, then you pay up.
Are we gonna get some
I
multiplayer
think-
mayhem at some point?
You say that, but I don't know what he means by multiplayer. That means he plays by himself, right?
I'm pretty sure. He's got two hands.
We were gonna play Paladins.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I've already played for like 3 hours, so.
Why?
Oh, I
You gave
assumed
me a
I needed
game
to
code.
play a little bit first.
You gave me a game code, and I said, what? And then I installed it.
I thought we were gonna play together. Get us out of here, Getty. I'm so tired.
We can, but I'm doing my own thing too. Okay. If you'd like to reach us with questions or input, our email address is mail@superggradio.com and provide us a review on iTunes or the podcast app of your choice. Thanks for listening, and good game, Alex.
GG, Getty.
Good game, Joel.
Good game.
Good game, Alec.
GG.
Little do they know, I never hit record.
The ultimate sin.
The best part about that is if it were true, nobody would hear it anyway.